if a healthy person took chemotherapy, it would make them sick. So what's it going to do to someone who is sick already? There are several things that cause cancer. So let's look at the causes. So for example, alcohol can cause cancer. Drinking wine, for example, beer, they have cancer-causing chemicals. Wine has urethane, that causes cancer. Beer, isobutanol, isopentanol, these are cancer-causing ingredients that are in actually beer that you can drink. Then you've got salt, which could cause cancer as well if you ate commercial salt, table salt as they call it.
What's in it that causes that's carcinogenic?
Okay, so you've got a whole list of ingredients that are damaging to the system. There's 32 toxic chemicals in salt. So you've got aluminum, or aluminium, as we say here. Aluminium will cause Alzheimer's, degeneration of tissue in the body.
That's in salt?
Yes, that's in salt. They put ammonia in there. There's thimerosal. There's lighter fluid in there. There's a number of different toxins and poisons. Ferrocyanide, for example, is in salt. Those will set you up for cancer. So,
are those things in salt when salt's in its natural state?
No.
Right. So how do those things get into the salt, in table salt, as you're describing?
This is a created thing we're dealing with. There's even white sugar in salt, believe it or not. So they put the white sugar in there to make it more salty. And that also gets you in a seesaw addiction. But
they put sugar in salt to make it more salty?
Yes. It has the effect of making it more salty.
Okay.
The orange juice, even commercial orange juice, can cause cancer. Because what they do, they spray these oranges with a carcinogenic agent to make them look more orange. And this basically has the effect of causing cancer when it's drunk, because these this carcinogenic gets into the actual orange itself that they make the orange juice from.
Now, what is that carcinogen doing in the orange juice?
What is it
doing?
doing?
In mind, it's made for human consumption.
It's not made for human consumption. It's actually synthetic.
No, but it's made for us to eat it because we're eating it.
Yeah.
So whoever manufactured it, Robinsons or whoever, then they're making it knowing that it's going to be used for consumption.
Basically, once you're dealing with a synthetic chemical, you've taken the wrong route already, because synthetics always cause disease, always cause damage in the body. Our bodies are not designed to deal with synthetics of any kind. We've just got to eat the food the way God made it, in the way that He made it, at the time He intended you to eat it. So, for example, a well-known store, and you buy, say for example, an apple. Well, that apple will have got that same spray on it, the methylcyclopropene. That apple was probably harvested and picked a year before, or 2 years before. Yeah, but God intended you to eat the apple 2 years ago, when it came forth from this earth. You see, but now you're eating it not in 2006, you're eating it in 2008. So again, you're going against God's law. God didn't intend you to eat this apple now.
So basically you're saying eat the fruit or the vegetable when it's fresh.
When it's fresh.
Okay.
When it's supposed to be eaten.
And eat it in season.
Eat it in season, absolutely.
Okay. Well, we live in the kind of the northern hemisphere, the cold part of the world, and nothing really grows in winter. So what would is winter time in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere? Is that for fasting? What does one do naturally? Things follow the cycle.
Things can grow. There's foods that grow. It depends which race you're talking about. We're talking about African people. African people at all times of the year should be eating African food. Tropical people should be eating tropical food, and in the seasons that we're supposed to be eating those foods in.
Okay.
And then you'll have no problem. You'll know exactly where to go. In fact, there's plants that grow at a certain height to tell you exactly what part of the body they're good for. So plants that grow this high are good for probably up here, the higher part of your body. Plants that grow down here are good for the lower part of your body. See, so that's nature telling you exactly what to eat for whatever part of your body you want to actually nourish.
Let me test that idea, because it's interesting you said that, and I've never heard that before. So carrots grow in the ground. Yeah, but there's a story that carrots are good for the eyes.
They're good, but not just good for the eyes. You see, again, we don't want to apply this kind of one-dimensional kind of logic to the food, because the food itself has multiple actions, conglomerate actions within them. There's no one food that you can eat that only does one thing. Like, for example, dandelion root. Within the dandelion root, which is a herb, you have several different vitamins, minerals, trace minerals. You see, so it's not going to do one thing. For every mineral that you've got in the dandelion root, there are several possible things that it will heal. So, for example, going back to what you're saying about carrots, carrots, yes, they'll be good for the eyes because they're high in vitamin A, but it'll also be good for the gastrointestinal tract. It's also good for your bones because it's got calcium in it. You see, it's also good for your skin. It also can actually defend you from cancer. You see, so there's multiple different things that each one food can do.
Okay.
And if you take one element out of the food and you look at what that one element can do, like for example, vitamin A, good for the eyes, good for the reproductive system, good for your intestinal tract, good for cancer, all kinds of illnesses that one element can do. And you've got several elements in this. And the amount of calcium that's actually in a carrot is 4 times greater than, say, for example, the equivalent amount of cow's milk. You take a glass of cow's milk, glass of carrot juice, there's 4 times more calcium in that. But we're being told that we must drink cow's milk for calcium, when the calcium that's in the cow's milk has been rendered too coarse for proper digestion and metabolism by the body.
Okay.
You see? So that'll only make you sick, make you constipated, give you osteoporosis, thrombosis, and other kind of problems.
Okay.
So the doctor gives them synthetic iron and hopes that they can actually replenish their iron stores in their body, when in actual fact they still have an iron deficiency, because the doctor hasn't gone to the root cause of the iron deficiency. And usually what happens, they're only given one type of iron. That's the trouble. There are several different types of iron, but you're only given one type of iron, which would only give you some of the iron you need, but not all. So you could still actually have an iron deficiency. Whereas if you go to the plants now to get your iron in the dandelion root, then you get all the iron you need.
So you're saying the dandelion root itself has all the different types of iron that
It has, in nature, you have all the different types. So like, for example, in the dandelion root, you've got iron, you've got sulfur, you've got sodium, you've got potassium, you've got calcium, you've got magnesium, you've got manganese. Manganese is a very important mineral, and that's in high amounts in the dandelion root. It's actually what's missing from food nowadays, this mineral manganese. It's quite a controversial topic, because what they're doing to the plants now, the seedless grapes, the seedless oranges, they're putting a manganese blocker at the stem of the grape or the orange, which causes the grape or orange to not produce seed. So this manganese blocker is causing you, when you eat this orange or grape, to not have this mineral that is vital to your existence in it and in yourself. So then you have a manganese deficiency.